So today I'm delighted to say that I'm in conversation with Cate Douglas, author of Poppy's Tale. Now, Poppy's Tale is a really vibrant and really colourful picture book for young children. It's really light-hearted with rhyme, it's playful and engaging, and children will really, really enjoy it. It's really going to stimulate their imagination, get them reading and curling up and enjoying time with you as you read it together. So Poppy dreams that it would be fun to have a tail. But which one will she choose? So she tries out many different animal tales and then she invents her own, and she finds lots of amusing and very original ways to use it. So Cate has a background in graphic design and copywriting, and she's contributed to all sorts of various journals, and she's spoken at all sorts of different trade events. She was even a governor of a local London preparatory school for 7 years, actually. And her quiet calling was to write a children's book. So without further ado, let's say hello to Cate. Hello, Cate. Thanks for joining me today.
Hello, Sue. Thank you for having me.
So listen, tell us about your journey. How did this all begin? I mean, what led up to writing your lovely book?
Well, it was kind of a slow burn, really, in that when my daughter, who's just about to turn 30, just to put it into context, when she was about 3 or 4 and I was reading, it was particularly that age group, which is what I've ended up writing for with Poppy's Tale, is 3 to 5, 2 to 6, that age group. All these ideas would just come into my head. So I scribbled them down, kept them all in a file, and tucked them away. I was far too busy at that point with the little one to do anything about it. And then through my normal work as a graphic designer, I found myself, as well as doing branding, I was also writing the books, the brochures that I was designing. And so I felt very comfortable with writing. And around about 2009, 10, 11, I started to really get serious about it. I thought, you know what, there's all these ideas, brimming over with ideas. And I started working on a couple of the books for real. And then my parents were taken very ill and ultimately died. So that was a 6 to 7 year period where I didn't have any time to pursue it further. In 2016, I was in Greece on the beach, and the idea for Poppy's Tale just plopped into my mind. And I always carry a notebook wherever I go, just in case, because ideas tend to come. This is my creative ideas invariably come when you're driving, when you're in the shower, swimming, you can't anywhere where you haven't got a pen.
Yes.
So I always keep that notebook, pretty much close at hand all the time, just in case there's something that I think of, not necessarily with regard to children's books, but any ideas that I have that I want to write down. And I've got here, this is the little book that has the Poppy's Tale, the very first little scribbles in here. So it's just, I'll just show you, just like any other notebook. And the little drawings here, the little tiny drawings. And I was having fun. I was just enjoying it. And so I screenshot what I was doing, sent them to my daughter, and she said, Mum, this would make a fantastic children's book.
Oh.
And it just took on a life of its own. Yeah. And I was originally going to thinking about who might illustrate it, but I decided I wanted to illustrate. I knew what my character, I knew what I wanted her to look like. So, it took time, and then it all came together. Yeah.
How wonderful. So it's a real process. How long did it take to do all of that then?
That's one of the main questions I get asked by the children in the schools when I do school visits with it. It was exactly 1 year and 3 days from...
I like that, 3 days.
On the beach, which I think is probably quite quick, but I was just driven by it. It wasn't a case of, do you want to keep doing this every day? Because I was doing the day job as well, but I just had to do it. And it took on a life of its own. And when things take on a life of it was like little doors and opportunities, just doors opened, opportunities happened. I have published it myself. As a designer, I could do that. So I have full control. I didn't really do it for that reason. But so I've designed it, written it, illustrated it.
Yes, everything. You've done it all.
Everything. And then, yeah.
So who do you know, when parents read this with their children, you said, mention the ages. What would you like to get out of it? What do you want kids to get from reading the story?
I want them to have fun. I want them to be stimulated to, you know, Poppy's Tale, I think it's original completely. I've never heard of anyone else go down this zany route of tales in quite this way. And I want them to be surprised and amused, and that the parents, that they can share this with the parents. So the parents can ask questions about, you know, which of these tales do you like the best? So in the book, which is, you mentioned it earlier, it's a rhyming story, but here, you know, they can discuss with their parents, so which tale do you like? And, you know,
and why? It's to get them enjoying books and get them reading and learning left to right and having fun. And then, because it's so colourful, because I'm very drawn to colour, because of the people that follow me and know me, I'm very colourful. So I love the tale is rainbow coloured. And then I noticed when I was looking and doing a bit of research, you go into schools and you bring a whole suitcase full of tales, don't you? Tell us a bit more about that.
So I was originally, through my role as a school governor, which was for a 7-year period. I'm not doing that anymore now. But I asked if I could go in and trial the book on the children there. And I suddenly thought, about a week before, wouldn't it be fantastic if they could wear some little tails themselves? And I ordered the fabric online. I made those tails. So 50 different animals, there's tigers and leopards and peacocks and pigs and rabbits. And, you know, I was just used to sew when I was younger, and I made all these things. So I take them in, and the kids love it. So they can, so now what happens when I go into schools, obviously read the story, and then we have a chat. I have it on a screen as well as a PDF, so they can all see clearly. And then we have a chat about the story, what it's like to be an author and an illustrator. About rhyming stories. Most of them I'm reading to 4 and 5-year-olds, 6. So it's reception, year 1, sometimes year 2, and sometimes nursery as well. So a lot of them are able to read most of it. There are some challenging words, but that's how we learn. And then when we've talked about the book, we then talk about all sorts of things, like which was their favourite tale, and if they had a tale like Poppy's, what would they use it for? And they come up with all sorts of very funny answers to that, all kinds of it. So it gets their imagination. That's you know, I'm a creative person, so I want to stimulate their own creativity.
And of course, schools can probably use that to then springboard into writing stories around a tale.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then we have, they get very excited when I say, you know, we've got this suitcase full of tales, and would they like to try them on? They're all, yes, yes. And they have to then act out their animal. That if they've chosen to be a tiger, I want them up there, you know, being scary, or a crocodile, they're going around snap, snap, snap like this. And I have music, Poppy's own theme tune, and they dance around. And then in the end, I got them all calmed down. At the end of the book, Poppy goes to sleep with her tail. So I get them all going to sleep.
Right. So the teacher, I'm a former deputy head, so the teacher in me goes, and then she calms them down. Hooray! So tell me, I'm keen to know, do you go into libraries, and do you go into other places and fairs and book fairs and things?
I haven't gone into libraries. In fact, I was partway going to go down that route, and then obviously the pandemic.
Yes.
Yeah. So that stopped the schools also for a while. I read at the Tunbridge Wells Literary Festival. That was really great. So it's like reading the book, and then it becomes a full workshop.
Yes.
And also I've done some little fairs in London and some school fairs.
Super. So listen, I'm keen to know about your colouring pages, because children, and where they can buy the tale, because if they go to your website, which is what, by the way?
My website is and then it's spelling's difficult, so it's BOBBUN books.com. So it's Bobbin, not Bobbin, Bobbin books.com, and all the information is on there. You can order them directly from me, and I can of course then sign the book. If you were to order one that way, then I can, if you email me,
yes,
you dedicate it to.
So the colouring pages are linked to the story, is that right? Young children can then go and download them from your website.
They're all on my website, and they're a bit like, I can just briefly show you here. There's one here. Because I'm a graphic designer, I find it hard to stop creating things for you. So they can draw a new tale for Poppy, and then there's a little, I don't know if you can see there.
Yeah, lovely. Spot the difference. I used to love those. And a word search.
Two word searches, one for older children, one for younger. There's all sorts. Anyway, lots more.
Wonderful. So where can people buy your book?
They can buy it from my site. It's obviously on Amazon as well.
Yeah.
They can buy it on Waterstones online. It's not stocked. It's very difficult to get into Waterstones unless you're in with one of the very big publishers. But it's available online at Waterstones. So Amazon, and also I sell the book on its own.
Yes.
So the book, and also, so
show us the tale. Come on.
After the fun in the schools,
yes.
50% of the tales that I take in would be rainbows. They were the most popular.
Yes.
So then I had these specially made.
Lovely.
And these are made actually by a British company. I think they're made in China, but they're made by a British company, as the book is printed in the US. So
yes, so it's fun, isn't it? So listen, tell us again, what's your social media, because people would like to find you, follow you, chat with you, buy your book, buy the tale. Tell us again what you are, social media, and once again your website. It'll all be on the end of the video, but just so people can know if they're watching.
So my Poppy's Tale has her own Facebook page. So it's Poppy's Tale Children's Book on Facebook. Then Instagram, Cate Douglas, that's Kate with a C, my name, Cate Douglas, author. And Twitter, Cate Douglas Auth, AUT, because there weren't enough letters.
So we'll put the website as well, because you were spelling it out. What was the name? Did you choose that name for the website?
I chose it, and there is a bit of a story.
Oh, no, we haven't got time. No, I'm joking. Tell us. So the little story.
Well, it's very difficult to find an original name now because virtually everything's taken. And because I wanted everything to be fun, and because it just seemed amusing to myself and my daughter that she used to call, when she couldn't really speak so well when she was little, she used to call her bottom her bobbin. And we just knew it as her bobbin. And so bobbin became a funny name for us.
There you have it. People won't forget your website now, will they?
Story. So you can buy the book on its own, the tale on its own,
all together.
On Amazon, you'd have to type in Poppy's Tale gift pack for this to come up. Otherwise, the book. And
well, I think if they go to your website, they can find it all. And if they follow the Sue Atkins Book Club, then they can find it on the Sue Atkins Book Club as well. And we've got all the details there for people. So what's next? Anything new? You're going to write another one?
I am in the middle of, or quite a long way down the road, with something that I started a long time ago. And the few people who I've told about it, they said, you've got to do that one. You've got to. It's very, very different. And it's a series. It's actually a series of books, all on the same theme. And I'm a long way through book 2 and partway through book 1, which is kind of the wrong way. So I was thinking I might publish it this year, but it may be next year because I want to make sure everything's absolutely in order. But really excited about that. Very, very different. Very different. And you haven't asked the obvious question, Sue. Why did I write about somebody having a tail?
Okay, why?
I just want to tell you. because I've always wanted one myself.
How magical.
How amazing it would be if people had tails. We'd all know what they were thinking. We'd all know. So,
how wonderful. Thank you, Cate, so much for your time.
It's been a pleasure to see you, talk to you. Thank you for the opportunity.